shadow in the government's game. Born as a child with no face and no name. They stole my past to leave me cold and alone. Always searching for a place that could go home. I was lost in the dark, just a tool in the hand, till she pulled me close and helped me understand. Now the fire inside is starting to rise. I can see the truth through 1,000 lies. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a hellhound beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. In the dead of the night, I can hear the call. All the ghosts of my past scratching through the wall. My eyes change colors, the power has grown. With Crowley the Hound, I'm never alone. I used to be hollow, a man made of glass, but now I am reclaiming every year that has passed. Every memory is falling right back into place. I know every name and I remember every face. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a hell on beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. I ain't running no more, yeah, I'm ready to fight. Gonna settle that debt in the depth of the night. They tried to break me, they tried to erase, but they can't hide the blood from the scars on my face. The veil is thin and the engine is hot. I'm taking back everything that they thought I forgot. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a hellhound beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. I remember it all now. Every single face, I'm calling for you in the dead of the night.
Hello and welcome. My name's Henry. Tonight we're going to talk about a couple ghost stories, haunted places. Okay, down at Alton, Illinois, down along the river there on Route 3. You take that going west, like you're going toward Grafton, Illinois. A little ways down the road from the Piasol Bird, there's a turn there that takes you up to the hill there called Clifton Terrace. Right before the turn, before you go up Clifton Terrace, there's like a parking lot there. It kind of goes up on a little hill there. This story is going to take place there. Now let me give you a brief description of this place so you'll know what to look for in case you ever go there. You come off Route 3, don't go all the way to the Clifton Terrace turnoff. That's a few feet away. Turn up into that parking lot. Go up to the top against that little bluff. There's a little arch doorway carved in the stone. They got a gate up there now, a big gate you couldn't get through if you wanted to. But it's not illegal to walk up there and look in there. That used to be a bar in there. I know, because my dad used to go there and drink when he got off the boat. I had to go in there and get him. Tell him to come out, because my mom didn't drink. Well, that was a long time ago. I mean, I was a little tiny kid. But periodically at nighttime, people would pull in there, maybe a shift change, or maybe they was getting off work, and they was carpooling. They'd stop there and talk for a few minutes. You know how people are when they get off work. And then they go jump in their vehicle and go home. But sometimes in between pulling in there and parking and getting to their vehicle, they'd look toward that hole in the wall, that cave. It looks like kind of like a cave. When you walk up, you can see tables and stuff in there. It was a cool bar, as far as bars go. I guess it was cool because it looked like a cave in there, and it was always cold as hell in there. But it stayed one temperature. But anyway, people park there, and this happens periodically. They pull in there to get in their own vehicle from carpooling late at night, and all of a sudden, they'll see a light inside that cave. And be like, what the fuck? How's there a light in there for? It looked like somebody in there walking around with a big spotlight. Well, they'd take their flashlight and walk up there to investigate, see what the hell's going on. And of course, they come to them steel bars, like what's in a jail. And they're looking, and that light goes back, like it's hiding from you. It goes back, way back in there. And then all of a sudden it goes out. They've also seen lights, orbs, whatever you want to call them, messing around, floating around that parking lot, and then go straight through them bars right into that old cave, the bar, and disappear in there. Now, across the road on the riverside, you'll notice right along in there, there's a big chunk of land between the highway, Route 3, and the river. At one time, there was a great big, huge, tall, big white building. That was a bar too. Years and years and years and years ago, it was a bar, a sleepover, and a cat house. That was for your riverboat traffic people. They get off there. When the boat would tie up, they'd get off, and they had 8 hours. They go have them a beer, have them a roll in the hay, catch a couple hours of sleep, and then go back and catch the boat and go on down the river. Yeah. But that building stood there for years, vacant. People going up and down Route 3 there would look over and see these orbs coming from the cave across the highway, go into that building, and they'd see them lights go up the 3 different levels in that building. Sometimes it even caused wrecks. Because somebody would see it and they'd stop. And somebody else coming up behind them would see it, not pay attention, hit that car in the ass. But that building's long since gone, though. But you can see the foundation where it used to be. It's a great big building, and there was all kinds of orbs and stuff you'd see inside there, and cutting across the highway sometimes caused a hell of an accident. And the first thing the cop would say to them, yeah, Illinois cops are, they'd be like, "Tell you been drinking? Are you stupid?" "No, I see an orb." "Breathalyzer." "What, because I seen something?" Yeah. The bicycle trail along the river road, there's been lots of muggings, long time ago. Killings. So it ain't nothing along that river road, the bicycle trail that runs along the highway. Yeah, you can see orbs and ghosts. Some of them walking, some of them riding a ghostly bicycle. So if you're ever traveling down there from Alton toward Grafton or toward Clifton Terrace, check into some of these places. Google them. Use Google Earth. So that way these stories will kind of make sense. You know, you'll have an idea, besides me telling you what they look like and what they were. You can kind of see some of these places. Now, if you go back down, keep going west, right as you, before you come in to the city limits of Grafton, look to your right. There's a place there called the Palisade Water Park. Hell, you might even know it. But here's what you may not know. You pull in off Route 3, the river's on your left-hand side, Palisades Water Park is to your right. It's a big place. Hell, lots of people go there. Even people from Missouri come over there. Pull into the far back parking lot, providing you ain't scared of snakes. Instead of going over there and going down those slides at the water park, if you go straight up that holler, just a little ways back in there, you're going to come across an old mining town. Just a little mining village. Now, all them people that lived in Grafton, they all worked there. The ones that didn't work in the restaurants and the bars and things like that, they worked there. Now, this is a long, long time ago. And you know how it is, like in West Virginia, coal mining place? Everybody go about their business while their husband is in the coal mines. Well, now even some women work in the coal mines, but back then, you know, it was mainly men. And they would see their husbands off. Their husbands would walk east up the river road to where the Palisade Park is now. And they'd turn in like they're going into where now the Palisade Park is. And they'd go straight on back up in that holler. And they'd work in those underground mines up there. They're still there. You just can't see them from the Palisades Park. But if you walked up in there, you see them. There's even a few abandoned old cottages that have fell in where they used to have things in there. Sometimes people take a nap in there. But them people in Grafton, they always had one ear open. They may be listening to the radio or talking, but they kept one ear open for that big air horn. If they heard the air horn, steam horn, whatever the hell you want to call it, all them women would gather up and head up that road toward that old mine. And they'd be sitting there looking for their husbands. Because if that horn went off, that meant there was a collapse. Now, if you want to take it one step further, there is some people that didn't have nobody and they buried them up there. And there is a few tombstones. So, when next time you go to the Palisade Water Park there at Grafton, now you know what's behind it. And right behind it. Up in that little valley there. Ain't very far. I mean, if you walk to the edge of the grass up there where they stopped mowing, and the leaves are off the trees, you can catch glimpses of it. You can see the old mines up there. I can't remember exactly what they had mined for, if it was saltpeter or what, but they was mining for things. But anyway, they'd hear them horns and they'd go running up there Want to know, did my husband make it out? Did my husband make it out? Or did he get killed in there? Well, after the collapse, they'd start digging them out. Sometimes they would save them, and sometimes they couldn't. So, there's you another thing to think about. Check into it. I don't tell nothing but the truth here on these stories. These are things you can check into. You can go there and see it. Now, if you go in further into Grafton, right just past the visitor center, that's right as you're coming into town there, on your right-hand side, there's a old restaurant, looks like a house. And it was a house at one time, but that house was relocated from Piasol to there. Now, I don't know if it's changed or not, because I haven't been there in a while. But it was called the Mississippi Two-Step, or something like that. That house is haunted. That restaurant is fucking haunted. If you ever go there, ask if you can go down in the basement. There's dining down there. And there's a little girl's dress in a glass case. It was found in the crawl space of that house. Not only that, but if you look back in there, like you're looking toward the street, but you're on the inside of the restaurant in the basement, and you look into one of them crawl spaces, you'll also see a bicycle in there. They leave that there for a reason, just like they leave that dress in that glass cabinet on the wall. There's times when that restaurant be closed, and see upstairs is the bed and breakfast. There's times when people would hear a little girl after closing hours. Hear her in there messing with the silverware, maybe messing with the plates on the tables, sometimes even straightening the chairs up. Hell, sometimes they flip the chairs up on top of the table, and next morning you come and put them down. Next morning they come in, and those chairs would all be on the floor, and sometimes they'd be rearranged. Sometimes the tables even been moved. And if you're really brave, and the bed and breakfast is still open, check in. Sit in the hallway there, in the little hallway, they got chairs there like a reading room. Sit up a few hours at night time up there. You might even see that little girl playing around. Lots of people seen her. Now, if you come back out to Route 3, go down to the Rubel Hotel. It'll be on your left. You can also rent rooms in there, too. It's a restaurant and they call it a saloon and a restaurant. They have live music there, too. But they also have rooms. I have actually seen this with my own eyes. I was around in the back parking lot waiting to pick up a friend of mine that was working in there. And I went in and shot the shit with him for a little bit. Well, I wanted to smoke, so I went outside. Waiting for him to get done cleaning so I could give him a ride home. I was sitting out there and I looked up there on the balcony. I seen somebody come out them doors to the balcony. They wasn't smoking. And I was like, well, what the hell are they doing out there? There's really nothing back here to see, but I'm maybe getting fresh air. I don't know. So I kept watching. All of a sudden, this person turned around, walked to the door like they was going to go back in and stopped dead, turned back around, looked straight down at me in the vehicle. I was like, uh-oh. I've been spotted. They just turned right back around, disappeared right there in front of the door. Well, I went in there to the old owners. Not the new owners, but the old owners that used to have it. I said, you ain't gonna believe what I just seen. Do you know this place is haunted? And they was like, yeah, the whole place is haunted. Well, over the years, see, there was a few bad things that happened there. Maybe a bad poker game, somebody shot somebody. Somebody robbed somebody. That place is an old building. Old building. It's seen many a floods. Then if you come back out to Route 3, and you go down to the gas station there, don't turn in at the gas station. Go on down, and there's a place, I think it's called Baby Hollow. And I think there's a sign there that says Baby Hollow Road. It's right there. Turn like you're going to go to the street just on the other side of the gas station. And follow that back. I think that's called Baby Hollow, if I remember correctly. I had a friend that lived back there. They called him Spike. He was funny as hell. I always got a kick out of him. You know what they say about redheaded people? You got the goopy redheaded people. That's what they say. And then you got the calm, intelligent redhead. He fell somewhere in between there. But I'll tell you something about all these redheads. When they really get pissed off, dude, that's like fucking with a piranha. But he lived back up in there. So one night I went up there to shoot the shit with him because I hadn't seen him in a while. And there's this old building that you have to pass that sets off, big stone building off to your right. That old big stone building is called the Plague House. Yeah, the Plague House. If you lived in Grafton back during the plague, and you started showing any kind of signs, and your neighbor said something, or your wife said something, they come and check you out. If you showed signs, they took you to that old house. They called it a hospital. It wasn't. It's where they took you to be with the rest of the people that had the plague, and you stayed there until you died. When you died, get this, when you died, they'd wait until there was a bunch of bodies. They'd take them out in the river, out there to them island. I won't say that what they called the island, what the people in Grafton call it, but just use your imagination. A woman's crotch. There you go. I won't say the name, but that's close enough. That's what they call that island out there because it sits in the middle. And, you know, it's kind of... They take them more and stack them like cordwood. Put wood all around them, stack them up, pour some kind of kerosene on them, whoosh, light them. Now, back in those days, these people wasn't the most intelligent people. Now, what do you think happened? That smoke and ash drift across that river back into Grafton. So it just kept reinfecting people. They was breathing it, smelling it. They said that they lost half of the population of Grafton because of the plague. It wasn't bad enough they was catching it from each other, from one infected person to the next. But when they take all them bodies over there, hell, they might take over there 15, 20 bodies. and burn them. Well, if the smoke was blowing just right, it would blow right back across the river because it was in the center of the river. It blew back into Grafton, and all them people running around breathing that, they'd automatically catch it. Then they would pass it to their children, their husbands, or their wives. So that's the story on that. Now, here's a crazy one. Come back out on the right 3 and you're still going west. And it looks like you're going to be going out of town, and there's a big giant, I guess a white and blue sign, says Fin Inn. It's a restaurant with river fish and turtle and all that good stuff. Damn good food, man. It's so good, make you almost chew your upper lip off. That place is haunted too. It's haunted as hell. As a kid, I worked there. Well, when you go in there, you can look at this up online, you can see it. They had, wherever you sat, they had these great big giant aquariums with different kinds of fish and gars and snapping turtles out of the river. Them snapping turtles are huge. I mean, some of them is probably about the size of a car hood. I am not shitting you. Well, I started out there working on days, washing dishes. Then they had me later on cooking. Well, that kid I told you I knew, Spike, he was also had a wild side to him. He said, "Hey, dude, how'd you like to make more money?" I said, "Well, okay, what do I do?" He goes, "Tell them that you want to come in and take care of the turtles and the fish. You'll clean the aquariums overnight. And when everybody else is coming to work, you'll be leaving going home, and you get paid double what you get paid for doing this other." I thought, well, hell, I'll try it for a couple of weeks. They showed me the rope. Now, there's a little door there in the back, and you go up like 4 steps, and then that's the aquarium rooms. As Spike told me, he said, you got to watch out of them snapping turtles. You got to take and put this food on a pole and hold it over top of the water and wait for the snapping turtle to come up and eat it. He'd grab it. So I was doing that one night, but he didn't tell me about the cats that they let run loose up there to keep the mice and rats down. I'm up there with a 5-gallon bucket feeding turtles turtle meat. Yeah, turtle meat. You put it on a pole, hold it over top of the water, and wait for them to come up, and they open their mouth, and you tilt the pole, and it falls into their mouth. Well, some of them's ornery bastards. They'll actually snap like a damn great white shark. Now, you got to straddle this aquarium. There's a board, like a 2x8 or 2x12, and you stand on that board, and you do this. You got to have nerves of steel. I was doing just fine. I didn't notice. I didn't know anything about the cats getting in there. I'm up there feeding, and all of a sudden I hear, "Row!" I damn near fell in the fucking water. I done thought a ghost had me by the ass. When I turned around and looked, there was all this frickin' cat hair all over the water. Like, what the shit happened? So I called Spike and get that crazy bastard up out of bed. I say, "Spike, dude, there's something in here. I heard it." He goes, let me get my clothes on. I'll be right there." I said, "Okay." Because he didn't live that far away. He comes in there and hair's all standing up. Looked like Corky the Clown. I heard him open the door and come up there where I was at, and I'm still feeding turtles. He goes, "What the hell's going on?" I said, "Go there and look in that third aquarium." He walked there and he goes, "Oh, shit." I was like, "What is it?" I said, "Look like some kind of hair." He goes, "I hope the hell that wasn't one of their favorite cats." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "That fucking snapper turtle ate it." and all left was the hair. Are you shitting me? He goes, no. So they had two favorite cats. They'd raised these things from babies. We was running around that restaurant. We split up to find these two cats. But luckily, those two cats, I guess when that other one screamed, they went outside. We found them out there. We looked out the window and there they were, so we walked out and got them. While we was out there, we seen something walk through the dining room. Spike goes, shit, I forgot to bring my gun. I said, well, how in the hell would you? I said, what the hell was that? He goes, I think it's the ghost in there. Ghost? What the hell are you talking about? He goes, the man that built this place, he haunts this place. Get the hell out of here. He goes, no, seriously. So, I never went in the other parts when I was in there feeding those turtles. I just stayed out there. So, Spike called one of the owners and got the code pass, typed it in, and we went in and started trying to find this person. We walked every inch of that place and couldn't find it, and we standing there in the waitress station. And all of a sudden, out in the dining room, we heard it sound like somebody rapped their knuckles on the table. So we went out there. Spike with his butcher knife and me unarmed. We're out there looking around, flipping lights on. Nothing. So to go into the waitress station, it has them bat wing doors like you see in the old movies in the saloons. We was coming back up the hallway to go toward the waitress station, because we'd walked all the way through the aquarium room back into the turtle room, and was coming back. We thought we caught a glimpse of something turn into the waitress station, and them bat wing doors were flinging like somebody open and shut them, walk through there. So we ran into the waitress station, and then the next door leads you into one of the kitchens, the second kitchen, I think it is. I think it's the second kitchen. That door was swinging. So we cut in there. We looked toward the dishwashing station, didn't see none, so we turned to the right to go into the second kitchen, and there's another waitress door there. That friggin' door opened and flipped. Like somebody had run through there, so we run back out there. Spike finally is like, hell with this noise. He's going to keep us running all night long chasing him. It's just a damn ghost. Like, okay. So one night, this girl was doing onions, making them flowers. Well, they make those up the night before and put them in big things, so the next day the cook can just reach there and grab them and fry them for you. She's back there in the back room, just past the dishwashing station. Now, that place is built onto a bluff. She's sitting there making these onion flowers for the next day. And periodically she sees a movement. She said she thought it was just a cat. Well, me and Spike was in there working, cleaning up, getting ready to go home. And she was finishing up, and all of a sudden this poor girl screamed. I mean, screamed and pissed herself. She come running, and we was running toward her to see what the hell was going on, and Spike caught her. I don't know where the hell she thought she was going. She didn't even stop where we was at. Spike caught her, and she goes, there's an old man sitting there looking through the window at me. So Spike was like, okay, we'll go check it out. So we go outside and take a bag of trash with us when we go and walk around her. On that window where she is talking about, it's only maybe a foot, 2 foot from the ground. That's all the much room you got, because the place is built into a bank. Right behind that is a little building. It's the office. So we're looking around. We don't see nothing. The Spike goes, you think we ought to check the office? I said, where the hell's the office at? He goes, right here in this little building. Well, the curtain was pulled and blind, so Spike reached there and got his key and opened the door. So we went in and it's just a one-room little building, like a little shed. So we're looking around, don't see nothing. Like, well, might as well go ahead and go. We come out and Spike was locking the door on the office. And and I'm standing there, I mean, it's pitch black. The dumpster lid, both of them, slammed shut. Spike looked at me and he goes, hey, I don't know about you, I'm heading back in. He said, old man was known to be a prankster sometimes. And he said, I definitely don't want to run into him. I said, okay. Well, that night we got off, everybody walked together down into the parking lot, which is down below the hill there. Down to get in our vehicles, and all of a sudden all the friggin' lights come on in there. Spike looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, well, he goes, we're going to have to go back in there and turn them lights off, but we're going to have to call and get the passcode, because he said, them fucking alarms will go off. We'll have the cops and everybody else down here. Now, we go in there. He got the passcode, types it in, and we go in there shutting lights off through the building. Somehow he made a mistake, and he was typing the code, and he only got like 30 seconds to get the hell out of there and shut that door. He got the door shut all right. The goddamn alarm went off from the inside. Cops show up. The owners get the call from the police station. I ain't shitting you, we had a whole shitload of people there. And me and Spike was kind of sitting there like, we didn't do nothing. Well, of course, they asked the owners if we belonged there, and they vouched for us, but then they kind of laughed after the cops couldn't find nothing. And that one lady was sitting there, one of the owners, one of the daughters, and she goes, damn, Dad's a prankster. We should stop that shit. I was sleeping. So yeah, that place is haunted too. He never was mean or anything, but he just liked to let you know he was there and pull pranks once in a while. He even locked us in one night. And we went to every door and they had the little twist knob deal. Couldn't get out of there for nothing. Spike went to calling the owners, and all of a sudden I hollered at him and said, hey, the doors are open. They was wide open. So he told him, never mind. And he goes, make sure you hold that door open. Now he said, I'll get ready to set the alarm so I can get the hell out of here. I said, okay. Just little things like that. I mean, it wasn't ever any mean, harmful stuff. It was more just almost like poltergeist activity, but it wasn't. It was the dad of all these kids would just prank people there. He had fun with it. I guess that's what he was like in life. I don't know, I never met him. But, yeah, that place is haunted as shit. And if you come out of there and keep going west, you come to the old boys' home. Don't turn in there. Right beside where that fence ends, there's a little blacktop road there. And you can Google Earth this. Take that road. That don't go into the prison. But hang to your left. Whenever you see the road kind of split, take it to the left. That was where the old ski lift used to be. And they had kind of like a small little village thing back there, like concession stands and whatnot. You could also buy gear there, jackets, coats, whatever. The place done real good for years, and then St. Louis opened up their big ski thing over there, and this one here just kind of fell to the wayside. But I went back there one night riding horses with my cousins. You could hear it, and them ski lifts ain't up on the wires no more. The wires are down, the poles that hold them are down, and you see some of them just laying around different places. It looks like a miniature ghost town back there. The buildings are still back there, but nature is kind of taking it back over. We riding horses back there, shooting the shit, laughing, and it sounded like the ski lifts were starting up to go. So, what do you do when you hear something like that up in the air above you? You look. There wasn't nothing, but you could hear them making that funny noise, that roller on top of that cable. Well, we kept on riding. The further we got back in there, because we followed where that used to go around and make a big, like a loop. Periodically, you'd hear it. Ee. That damn, sound like one of them coming toward you, and you'd look around like, what the shit? There was a couple of them that was on the ground laying over. The old trolley thing, ski lift. Then if you go down into Graham Hollow Road, you're going west on Route 3 from the ski lift place, and you come to Graham Hollow Road. It'll be on your right. That whole fucking road is haunted. There's been killing and all kinds of shit there. Follow that up, and you'll see a kind of one or two road that turns off and goes up into the state park, Pierre Marquette. Don't take those. Keep to your right. There used to be an old military barracks there. And during World War II, that's where some of your German POWs was brought over here to Americanize them and get them to quit thinking about Nazi Germany, and was going to send them back over there after the war. A release program. They released Americans, we'd release some Germans. And some of them that wanted to stay, stayed. So, not only was it like barracks and stuff, it was also a prisoner of war camp. And it wasn't that they ever tried to escape or anything. It was just they had to stay over until the end of the war, because wasn't sure if they would pick up a rifle over there and start shooting again. So you keep them over here where you can keep track of them. They haunt that area too, because some people died, And like I said, there's been all kinds of killings and stuff up through there. Sometimes even some land feuds. Almost like the Hatfield McCoys. So you see ghosts walking them down them roads. And if you come back out to Route 3, turn to your right, go west. Right up, that road starts making a bend to your left. If you look down in there, there's a little creek. There used to be a bar that sat there. I think it was called Singer's. My dad used to drink there too. Hell, he was like horse shit. He was all over the place. The man that run that place, his name was Bob. He was a good guy. Real good guy. He helped you any way he could. Just don't piss him off. Don't cheat him. He's dead now. But he had a little boy. And one day while he was there working, his little boy drowned in that little creek that ran into the river. That man never got over that. Every day he'd look and watch that creek after they found that little boy. Couldn't stand it no longer, so he said, I just can't be here. So he tried to stay away as much as possible, but finally he said, I've had enough. I can't bear the thought my son died right there. So he sold the bar, and then of course a flood come up and took it down the river. Then if you go on west, you come past Brussels Ferry, On up a little further, there's the riding stables. But I'm going to tell you though, that bicycle trail is a long son of a bitch. It runs away from Alton all the way up past Pierre Marquette Park. All along there, there's been killings and stuff. And you see ghosts late at night walking on them bicycle trails, sometimes sitting over on the edge of it. So yeah, there's hauntings all over Illinois. I know Illinois real well. So like I said, if you ever get there, check it out. If you follow that road on down further, follow it on around, go past Pierre Marquette Lodge, you wind up in a little small community called Rosedale. If you turn to your right off of Route 3 and go up through Rosedale, them roads up there will take you to Bubbafuck, Egypt and back. Some of them, you ever heard of a hairpin turn? Some of them turns are so tight up there that as you're going around it, you see your back bumper in front of you. That's just a joke, but I mean, they are wicked, and they don't have guardrails either. I've seen ghosts up there along them roads. People. That some of them maybe had a wreck. If you come back out to Route 3, leave Rosedale, keep an eye on some of them cabins on your right-hand side along the bluff. Some of them abandoned cabins, you see some weird shit late at night there. And you're still heading up the River Road on Route 3. And on up the road up there, you'll come to a little town called Nutwood. I know it sounds stupid, doesn't it? Nutwood. That's the name of the town. Little village, whatever you want to call it. As soon as you come in town there, you look to your left, and right against the road, there's a bar there. That I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be called Tooey's. She was a big, tall redhead. I mean, a big old mofo. She had this German Shepherd that stayed in the bar with her. And if there's any trouble, she'd grab her ball bat or the shotgun and that dog. That dog would eat your ass off. That dog would sometimes go to the back room and lay on top of them crates of beer, bottles that she had stacked up back there, so he could see up over the bar from back in the back room. And all she had to do was say something or scream, and that dog would come running and jump right over that bar after your ass. Sometimes he'd chase you plumb out in the parking lot. He was a big old German Shepherd. Most times he'd lay on top of them beer bottles, looked like he was dead. But he come to life in a heartbeat to save her. Tooey owned that bar for years. I mean, she was a big old fucking redhead. And she was as mean as she was big, but she could be nice. You don't piss her off. She haunts that bar, because she died years later. She haunts that bar. Now, right there at Tooey's, just back just a little ways, there's a turn that goes up to the hollers. There used to be a nightclub up there. Honky Tonk, Speakeasy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it was huge. That place there, I shit you not. You could walk in, get out of your vehicle there in the parking lot, and see somebody killing somebody. Somebody hit somebody with a tar tool. 2 women fighting. And 6 guys fighting over the bet on which one of the women was going to win. And you go inside, it was just as bad. That place is haunted. Even the parking lot's haunted because of the crazy shit that used to go on there. So, check out some of these places. You want a good spook? Check out some of those places. There's a place over in Hamburg, Illinois. It was called Alice's Palace. Back in the 70s, 60s and 70s, that place there was the same friggin' way. Look it up sometime on YouTube. That place was like a madhouse. People fighting in the parking lot, people fighting in the bar. You go in there to get a beer, you didn't know if you was going to get stabbed or knocked in the head or all three. Hey. So yeah, these places existed. And they're all haunted. My dad used to say that the Alice's Palace and the Hideaway, that was the place down there at Rosedale, Nutwood. He said those were the devil's playhouse. He said people come in here and just get along just fine as soon as they get out of the vehicle, and if they made it to the door, devil possessing and causing a fight. He wasn't too far off, because them places was, they were just bad. That's all you could say about them. But that kind of trauma at a place and bloodshed and death, it's bound to leave some kind of bad residue there. And it did. Then you have the other place that's haunted by somebody that really liked what they used to do. Like Tui owned that bar. That was her life. She slept in the back room, her and her dog. They lived there. They get up, put coffee on, people come in, drink coffee, until time to drink beer. So that was her life, so that's why she haunts that place. Her and that damn dog haunt that place. And not all hauntings are bad, but nevertheless, they're still haunted. If you ever go to that bar, it used to be Tui's, go there at nighttime, maybe have a cold one, and you see a big, tall redhead, a big, heavy-set redhead, and a German Shepherd. It's Tui. She's been seen in that back room where that damn dog lay up on top of them beer bottles. Seen back there moving crates. She's always seen, off, away from everybody, because that's the way she was. She kind of standoffish until she got to know you. But you could check out some of those places. They are haunted, and Tui's still exists. I think it's called something else now, but it's the only bar there in Nutwood that's right there just off of the highway there. So it ain't hard to find. And the Hideaway, it hasn't been open for years, but it was an old nightclub. Now, the building is still there, and it is haunted. That parking lot's haunted as hell, too. There's probably as much blood been spilt in that parking lot as there is pieces of gravel. That's how bad that place was. It's remarkable that the building is still standing, but it is haunted. And sometimes you drive along them roads there on Route 3, anywhere on Route 3, it ain't nothing to see a ghost or even a cryptid creature. So if you're ever driving up that way, watch out for the deer. Watch out for the spooks that might be standing along the road there, along the bluff. Because they're there. Could cause you to shit yourself. So if you're going to be riding up down that road at nighttime, you better carry a roll of toilet paper. So you clean yourself up when you shit yourself. So there's my kind of a rundown on the story about that. These are places you can look into, and you can see them. Hell, you can even use Google Earth and see some of this stuff that I'm talking about. Sometime I'll put up in the post area, I'll post a picture of the death house, or the plague house, whatever you want to call it, there in Grafton. It still stands. It's a big stone house. I got pictures of it. And I'll post it, and I'll make sure I write, the Grafton Plague House. So when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about or know what it is. It still exists. Like I said, it's up Baby Hollow there at Grafton. Well, that's kind of a short video, but it's a few things that you can check out. Now, there's another place up the road past Nutwood. And it's an old house that used to sit down in the field to your left. There'd be people that'd be coming up and down that road going home late at night from work, and they'd look out there and see this house burning. Well, they'd stop and bang on somebody's door and have a phone call. Hey, there's a house burning out there, and the people would be like, we see it all the time. It's a phantom house and a phantom fire. No, I just seen it. It's a phantom fire and a phantom. Come on, I'll show you. They'd walk back out there and look in that direction and nothing. What it was, the house that burnt back in, I think, the 1920s or 30s. It was a big log cabin, and the chimney caught fire and burnt in the middle of the night. They couldn't get it put out. It just kind of went up like tissue. And people still see it periodically out there in that field. So if you ever see it, now you know it's a phantom house burning. So there's not too much need for concern. But it is a sight to behold. It's freaky as shit. See something like that burning. I think it's a house really burning, and you all of a sudden you look again, there ain't nothing out there. Ain't no burn mark, no nothing. No smoke smell. So, it's a phantom fire. Phantom house fire, I guess. It can start just as quick as it ends. You'll see it 1 minute, and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. And you'll even smell the smoke while you're seeing it. But the moment you turn your head around and look the other way and look back, the smell was gone of the smoke, and so ain't the fire. And nothing's burnt. Whether it be beans or corn, whatever's planted in that field, there ain't no burn mark. So that's, couldn't you imagine? You're at the police station, you're one of the officers on duty that night, and you get a phone call because somebody sees that damn house burning out there in that field. And you make a run down there and you look, because you got to go look. Check it out, you got to investigate. And you walk out there and look around like, have you been drinking? You taking any kind of medication? You been smoking anything? No, I seen it. I mean, that would be kind of embarrassing. They want to give you a sobriety test because you seen a burning house out there in the fucking field. But, that's the way things are. If it's paranormal, they want to check you for a alcohol or drug, make sure you ain't nuts or something. But, after years, the cops get kind of used to it, like, nah, we're just kidding. That's a phantom fire. A lot of people sees it. But so if you're ever down the way late at night and you see it, just to keep an eye on it, and when you turn your head and turn back and it's out and gone, there ain't nothing there. It's just a phantom fire and just going back to merry business, what everybody else does. But it does happen. If you go up to that T and turn to your right, you go up in toward Fielding, Illinois. Well, I'll tell you more some other time. I'm going to get off here and get me some shut-eye because I'm a little bit pooped. Tired, I mean. And just wanted to drop in and tell you about a few scary places in Illinois that I know. I know Illinois like I know the back of my hand. So I'm kind of dropping some stories there. Periodically, I'll drop one for a couple from other places I've been to, but there's a lot of ground to cover in Illinois. I mean, shit. It's almost like the ghost capital. Well, till the next time, don't take no wooden nickels. And for goddamn sure, keep your eyes on the road when you're driving. Because if you're in Illinois, you might be my ass you run over. So, I'll talk to you on the next one. Have a good night, and thank you for being here. Thank you, and good night.